Hello there, my name's Carlo and welcome to a Cinema 4D tutorial. This is going to be a full-on tutorial, a project we're going to do from start to finish together. I was sitting there thinking to myself, what would be something basic we can create together within Cinema 4D that's really easy and has good end results at the end of the project. All we're going to be using for this project is sorry, let me get rid of that there, I do apologise. We're going to be using the capsule, and that's basically the only real shape we're going to be using within this tutorial. Now, I do apologise if there's any noise in the background, but I do have kids and I do have two dogs, but if the dogs bark or anything, just ignore them and we can continue. So what are we going to make? We are going to try and create the Android character, the Android logo, which is this guy here. It's very simple to create, it's very basic, but it will get you basically modeling or creating stuff quite quickly and show you how easy it is to basically create something with a nice end result. So we're going to begin. So what we're going to do is we're going to come up to this box here. We're going to hold down on the left mouse button and then we're going to select our capsule. Now this capsule is basically going to be the body of our Android man. Okay, all we have to do is just change some settings here. So in radius we're going to type in 100.122 centimeters, press enter, and then for height we are going to put in 353.317. Sorry, I'll do that again. Bear with me. It always goes wrong, doesn't it, when you're doing it live. 100.122 centimeters. And we're going to go height 353.317. Like so. So we've got basically our body of our Android man. It's not yet finished obviously, but you'll see when we start putting it all together. So in here we're going to rename this and we're going to call it body, like so. Okay, so we've got our body. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to create our neckline, which basically is splitting the head from the body. There's a lot of ways you can do this, but for simplicity and because this is a full basic tutorial, I'm going to show you an easier way of doing it. So we're going to come back up to our box here, hold our left mouse button down, and we're going to click on this icon here, which is torso or torus or whatever you want to call it. So we have our torus here around our body, and all we're going to do is we're going to basically play around with the settings, and we're going to bring our pipe radius all the way down. We're going to make it more rounded so it's a perfect sphere, and then we're going to make it small enough so it just goes inside the body. So you don't want to go too much, and I'll tell you why in a sec. So basically we want to have that look to our body, and all we're going to do is we're going to raise it up to about there, so about there, like so. So we have, well, we're basically splitting the body from the head, and this is an easier way of doing it. Obviously with the Android character there's a black background which is default when you render, and so if I was to go to render now, we have a matte black background within that anyway, so we want to keep that matte background, and you'll see why in a second. Okay, so now we're going to create the eyes. So we're going to come back up to our box and we're going to have another capsule. Bring our capsule in. We're going to come up here to your rotate tool. We're going to rotate the cylinder like that, and then basically we are going to shrink it down like so. So we're just going to come up to these settings here so I can have a quick look. So shrink it down, and then we're going to select our move tool, and then we're going to just place it in the body and just basically move it into position to where the eyes, or where you want the eyes to be. I mean, it's based on taste where you want the eyes, but if you want it to look like a proper Android man, this is the best way to do it. We're just going to shrink it up a bit, and then we have one eye right there. Move it into position where you want the eye, and then all we're going to do is we're going to repeat the process. So we're going to have another capsule, bring the capsule out, spin this around like so, and then we're going to rotate the capsule like so, and then we're going to just make the capsule a little bit smaller like we did with the first one, and then we're basically just going to move it into position. So there's no real technical ability that you have to have within Cinema 4D. We're just trying to get the best result using basic shapes, so you can get a really nice decent look at the end of your project. And it's also quite fun to do as well. He's quite a cool character. So we're just going to move this into position like so. Might make it actually a little bit bigger like that. It's just play around with it so it's as neat as possible for yourself. This one obviously is too far out, so we're going to push this one just a tad back like this. Maybe bring it out just a little bit more, and that'll do for now. For the sake of the tutorial, that'll do for now. Okay, so now what we're going to create the arms. So back up to our box again, and we're going to have another capsule. And then we'll bring our capsule out. We're going to put it so we've got it in the front so we can see where our arms are going to go. And for the arms, we're going to have a radius of 24.559. Press enter. And for the height of the arms, we're going to have it 96.374. Press enter. And then we're just going to bring it over to the side and just position it next to our body like so. Bring it out just a touch, because the arms in this never really touch the character, so that's cool like that. Okay, so that's fine. So all we're going to do is we're going to repeat the process with another capsule. As you can see what I was saying, this is all capsules, baby. And then we are going to give it the same measurement. So our radius again is 24.559. Press enter. And our height is going to be 96.374. Enter again. So at least we know that they're basically identical. So bring it round, position it. This is, you know, just takes playing around with, so you've got it at the right height for your character. And bring it around like that. Maybe lower it down just a bit, like so. So now we've got the arms, and we've got the body and the eyes, and we've got the neckline. We might need to actually bring the neckline down just a touch. Like I said, this is just playing around. Just bring it down so it's just parallel with the top of the arms, like so. And now we are going to use more capsules, and this time we are going to create the legs. Legs are obviously inside of the body. I don't usually have it hanging out. So for the legs, our radius is going to be 19.73 centimeters, and our height is going to be 95.047, like that. So bring it round. So we're going to just put that into position now. Play around with it, like I say, so you can get the best possible effect, best possible look, shall I say. Bring it down like so, and we're just going to push it back within the body, like so. So we've got a leg there like that, so it don't look too bad. I'm quite happy with that. Right, so we're going to repeat the process again with another capsule. And then we're going to bring the capsule out so we can see it. We're going to change our radius again, which is 19.73. Press enter, and our height is going to be 95.047. Press enter, and like the first leg, we're just going to put it in position like so. Just play around with it like I say. Get the leg in the position you want it to go in, so it's nice and tidy. Bring it back just a little bit, and then basically go to the front view. And that looks alright to me, that looks fine, absolutely fine. Okay, so we've basically got our legs, our body, and our arms, and our eyes, and our neckline. So the next thing, final thing we need to do for the character is his antennas. So we're going to go again, believe it or not, another capsule. And the antennas, our radius for the antennas is going to be 6.52. And the height for the antennas is going to be 138.93. So we'll just stick it in his head. And the reason why I have it this long is because I don't do a rig for this, because obviously everything's sort of hovering. So if I want to animate him, it gives me a bit of space to play around with, to pull the antennas in and out and stuff like that. There's no point doing a rig because, you know, like I just said, everything sort of hovers about. So we've got one antenna. Repeat the process for the second antenna. Same measurements. 6.52. Enter. And our height 96. Sorry, that's the wrong measurement. It's 138.93. Bang. And then we're just going to rise it up so we can see it. Bring it across like so. Select your rotation tool. And just have a proper look just to make sure it's centered with the head, centered with the top. Select your move tool, bring that into position, maybe bring that back a bit, like so, and make sure they're sort of the same height, like so. Okay, so that's not too bad, he looks alright like that. So the next thing we're going to do with him is we're going to add our colour. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to create, new material, keep it a match for now, and I'll show you why in a minute. I'm going to select our colour template and we're going to make him a really nice bright green. So say about that green there will do fine. Okay, and we're not going to add no glows yet, because there's no point, there's no really glow in the character anyway. So we're just going to come out of that, so we've got our colour, and then we're going to drag our colour and just drop it on top of the body like so. And then we're going to basically repeat the whole process, but sorry, that was wrong, for all the capsules we've just seen. So that capsule is the antennas, like that. Normally what I would do is I will label every single one of these so I know what they are within animation. So if I want to animate it, I know exactly what parts are moving, and then we can basically do that in a second, to keep our workflow a little bit more neater and tidy. Okay, so basically we know this section here is the right eye, this one here is the left eye, so type in left eye, and we've got this part here which is the, I'm going to just put left ant, and then we're going to do the same right ants, and then we're going to select this one, right leg. This is for animation purposes and also to keep the workflow a bit neater. Left leg, left arm, You can do this as you're actually creating your shapes, but I just think this is just a bit quicker. Right. Okay, so we've got everything basically together. Now we need a new material. So basically we're going to go to create new material. We're going to create a black material, jet black. Like so. But then we want to basically change the look of this material, because you can see it's got a glow to it. So basically all you do is just uncheck specular here, so it's like a proper matte black. And this is so we can basically blend the neck in with the background. So if we just bring this and we just drop it onto our neck and our eyes, like so. When we actually render him out, like so, it will give you the image that the neck is actually floating away from the head. Sorry, the head is actually floating away from the body, which is basically the effect you want. So after we've done that, we basically need to go to create object, and we need to create a null object. Grab everything here and then drop it onto your null object, like so. So we've got basically one null object. And basically when you want to animate with him, it just makes life a lot more easier. So I'll just give you a little example. Let's select the arm, select a keyframe, say make it 10 frames long, get your rotation tool, bring the arm up like so, keyframe it. So now, as you can see, you can animate him, and it's a lot easier to animate rather than basically creating what do you call it? I'm losing it. Basically a joint tool or a rig for your character. So that's basically how we make the Android man. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. It's very brief, very quick, but obviously it gives you a really nice result at the end of it. Play around with the character the best you want. You might want to lower the neck, or fix the eyes and stuff like that, but it just gives you a rough idea how you can create something from basically nothing within Cinema 4D. Obviously go around the internet, have a look at various characters which have got not a lot of shapes. This was basically just made with capsules and just basically one torus, and that's it. So I really hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. Stay tuned for more tutorials within Cinema 4D, basic tutorials. The next tutorial is basically I'm going to animate this guy, and then I'm going to teach you how to animate him and make him look really cool. But there's a few things, a few little bits and bobs that we need to do with him to make him look a little bit better. But that basically is based on taste. So thanks for watching, please subscribe, and I'll catch you again in the next tutorial. Thanks a lot.